Hi, this is Jill from Humu Yoga, and this is the full yoga practice. This week we're working with the theme of reflection. So I'm going to take us through a quiet centering, and then I'm going to go through some inspirational quotes on reflection. And then I'm going to weave this theme into the yoga class, where today we might emphasize side body a little bit more. And these themed classes are something I've been doing for many, many years, and I've had positive feedback from my students. So I've included a link in the show notes below, and if you'd like to receive these as an email every week, feel free to click on the link. And if this is something you like, please subscribe, because I do a new class every week with a different theme and a different focus. So to get started, just notice how you're sitting. And I like to close the eyes and just reach the arms out and begin to engage in bandhas or interlocks. So we start with Mula Bandha, that pelvic floor. Just engage it enough so that you feel supported. And then above that, below the belly button, draw the belly in and get a sense of lift. We call that Uddiyana Bandha, and it means flying upward. And then at the top of the spine, just gently draw the chin down, Jalandhara Bandha, or chin lock. And now you have the bandhas supporting you from within, so you can release the hands. And let's just begin to focus on the breath. So as you inhale, very naturally feel the rib cage fill up. And then as you exhale, feel the rib cage relax. Inhale, breathing in, feeling the expansion. Exhale, feeling the rib cage relax. And one more time, big breath in and exhale. And then taking the hands together in prayer position by your heart, let's vibrate together with the mantra Om, and then I'll go through the quotes. Inhale. Om. The outer world is a reflection of the inner world. When you find peace within, you create peace around you. In stillness, we meet ourselves. In reflection, we begin to understand. Your reflection to the world reveals more about your inner landscape than it does about the world itself. Take time to reflect, not to judge yourself, but to meet yourself with kindness and curiosity. Like the surface of calm water, reflection shows us what lies beneath, clear, honest, and waiting to be seen. Reflection. I love this idea of your inner mirror, and taking the time to reflect and not just react. So to feed that, maybe through this yoga practice, and as we practice, just notice, can you come to a place where you reflect the joy that the practice is bringing you. So we'll come to all fours and just very easily starting to move the spine as usual. So inhale, we'll arch the back. And then exhale, go ahead and round the spine. We'll do that a couple times. Inhale, so we're feeling the back body work and the front body open here. And then exhale, round the spine. And then let's just come to neutral. And from here, we're going to make our way to downward facing dog. So I'm just going to hover the knees for a moment and notice it. Feel the upper body working. I can feel my belly working, all the muscles supporting the spine. And then we take it back to downward facing dog. And just begin to notice what you're feeling here. I'm bending my knees to get my spine really long so I'm not up here, right? And then I start to straighten. You can play around with that. I'm really reaching through the shoulders. Inhale and exhale, trying to lengthen through the calves and open the upper body as well. And pay attention to your breath. Inhale and exhale should feel good. And then slowly, let's make our way up to the front. I like to tippy toe and push down and just feel that. Once you're all the way up, you can just hang. You could even grab your elbows. You could have the knees a little bent. Just do what feels good in your body for now. Just notice that.
Should feel good. And then release the hands. You can soften the knees if you need to. Let's slowly curl up. So bend the knees and feel your spine curl here. So we're stretching the spine, but we're supporting it from the front. And we're slowly curling all the way up. Once at the top of the mat, you can roll the shoulders down and wide and pause. And then let's step everything together for Samasatihi, standing still and straight. Before we start our sun salutations, I always practice with a set of yoga blocks and a little towel. You could also use a yoga strap, or you don't have to use any props. I just find they help to give me a little bit more modification, and I can go deeper into some poses, and that feels good. So here we go. Inhale, reach the arms up. Surya Namaskar A. Exhale, fold. Really opening the body up. Take your time here. Inhale, lengthen. And let's go ahead and take it back to a plank. Find your plank here, nice and strong. I'm going to come down to my knees because it's a modification, and I want to keep this body line as I lower. Make sure your elbows aren't too close into your body. They can go out a little. You want to get a feeling of the shoulder blades going into the back a bit as you lower. Try to maintain that as you rise up. Some people like to go straight into upward facing dog at the bottom of that push-up, and that's fine. Inhale, lift up. I'm trying to build a little upper body strength, so I always add that little push-up. And let's take it into down dog. And I'm healing from a shoulder injury, so that really helps it. Breathe here. Inhale. You have to do what feels good in your body. Exhale, and what's healthy for your body. Inhale. And if that means bending the knees here every once in a while, do that. Exhale. One more breath. Exhale. And let's slowly make our way up, pressing down, lifting up, and fold. Inhale, lengthen, and rise. And exhale, hands down. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Let's exhale, take it back. Hold. And keep the body line as you lower and rise and come through. Inhale, lift the sternum, tail is under here. And exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe. Inhale and exhale. Just begin to notice as your body opening a little bit more now. Inhale and exhale. And one more breath. And exhale. Let's make our way up to the front. And pressing down, lifting up. And fold. Inhale, lengthen. Rising. And exhale, hands down. Now we'll go into Surya Namaskar B. Bending the knees. I'm going to modify with blocks. And reach. It helps give some height. It makes it a little easier to step back, step forward, to go back, to go up. So I'm going to lightly hop back, but you're welcome to just step back and lift. And then from here, I'm going to lower, same thing. A little width with my elbows. Rise up. Inhale. Lift the sternum. Exhale. This time I'm going to roll over my toes. It just feels like I have the height and the support for that. It feels nice. And then the blocks are going to really help me to lift that foot up. And then we're going to rise up first into a lunge. So just find a gaze point. I want you to bend this back knee for a moment and engage under the butt and the hamstrings. Feel that. Feel that first. Then we take the angel arms where we engage the back. And now we straighten the back leg as we start to go back, but keep the engagement. We're also pulling the right butt back so you feel the hips nice and strong. And then inhale, rise up, reach forward, feel that right butt. Take the hands down, stay here for a moment. Then we're gonna try not to turn the hips too much, but turn the left ribs to the right. Roll the right shoulder open, breathe here, and take your hand down. And let's step back. And we'll go ahead and lower. And rise. And come through. Inhale, lift. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left side. Inhale, step the left foot forward. Start to rise up. Find that gaze. We'll bend the back knee. Engage the under the butt muscles, back of the thigh. And then we'll engage the back muscles and lift the sternum and start to straighten that back leg, pulling that left butt back at the same time so the hips are strong. And then inhale, rise up, reach forward, take the hands down, and then without turning the hips very much, turn your right ribs to the left. You could gaze over that left shoulder, breathe, and then taking the hand down, stepping back, and lower. Breathing, rising up, and coming through. Inhale, tail under, lift that sternum, feel the back connection here. The back is working, the front is opening, and downward facing dog. And breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Stay connected to the breath. Inhale. And exhale. And one more. And now I'm going to lightly hop up. You're welcome to walk up. I find a little target up there to look at. And then I lift up and I put my feet there. And then I fold. And the blocks really help me with that. Bend the knees. Reach the arms. Inhale. And come to stand. On the next set, I'm going to try without blocks, just because I want to, but you're welcome to keep using them. Sometimes it's fun to try with and then without. Inhale, reach up. But for some people, it's better to use them. It enhances the practice. And that's what we want. And float back. And let's lower. And rise. And come through, and downward facing dog. Now we're going to come through to warrior one. Inhale, step the right foot up. We're going to take the back foot down and rise up, reaching. Keep that left butt under, pulling the right butt back. Get your back engaged, your front opens. Now we're going to change to warrior two, so the hips change, the upper body changes. You might need to adjust. So make it smooth. Inhale and breathe. Now the hips are open. You can feel the difference. Let this pose be a reflection of the strength from inside. Everything's reaching. And then exhale. We'll take the hands down and step back. And then from here, let's go ahead and lower and rise and come through, lifting that sternum. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do the other side. Inhale and rise up, reaching. Keep the tail under, pull the left butt back, feel the back engage and the front open. Rising, turning for warrior two. Feel how the hips shift. You might have to change your stance a little bit. The hips now open. Breathe. Inhale here. Exhale to strong pose. So that's reflected out. You can feel that. You can see it. And then coming down and stepping back. And let's go ahead and lower. And rise. And come through. Inhale, lift. And exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Hopefully you're more warm now. Things are starting to feel good. Breathe. Inhale. And exhale. And then we'll find that target. Bend the knees. And fold. Bend the knees. Reach the arms. And come to stand. Let's take the feet hip width. And just notice for a moment, pubic bone and belly button on the same plane. You're not sticking your butt out or tucking under. And right at the hip sockets here, start to come forward. Come forward. Take a moment to take your hands on your shins and really extend your spine.
Lift the sitting bones up. Just feel that energy of the hamstring stretching. Then you can fold in and you can relax the head down. Only go to what feels good in your body. No tension in the neck and shoulders. Try to straighten the legs by engaging the front, breathing. And then inhale, lengthen. Let's stop here, halfway up. Feel that spine lengthen and rise. And then exhale, everything comes together. Samasati. Now I'm going to set up for some standing poses. I always like to use the blocks. They give me a little more height. And let's go ahead and step out. We're going to start with Parshva Konasana, or Udhita Parshva Konasana, extended side angle, which kind of starts in a warrior two, same shape, but then we keep going. You can either keep your hand here, here, here. I'm going to use the block. Let's reach up and open that left shoulder. Just feel that opening. Now we're going to feel the side body as you reach. So you feel from your pinky finger all the way down the left side of your body to the outer edge of your left foot. And then from here, reach up for Trikonasana. Straighten the front leg. Open that left shoulder. Maybe you feel some side body or some hamstrings, but you're open. And then reach the arm. Now you'll feel side body on the left armpit. And then reach up and rise up. So everything you do, if you're feeling the openings happen, you'll reflect that. I can always tell when a student is struggling. It shows bending here, and that's when we make adjustments. Maybe a higher block or any modification that helps. And then from there, reach to make it expressive. Breathe, inhale, exhale, and then reach up. Let's straighten the front leg. You can move your block back and open. I love this pose. It feels really open. And now we'll get more side body. Reach, reach. Enjoy all the lengthening going on. And then inhale, rise up. And now we're going to do the revolved variation of those poses, which is it's a little bit more difficult. It requires balance because now the hips are facing the same direction. So Parivrtta Trikonasana. Inhale here. We'll reach up. Try to pull that right hip back as you come forward. So deepen the crease there. Take your hand down to the outside of that right ankle and then start to turn. You could also be up here. Start to turn. Turn. Keep pulling that right hip back as you do that. Breathe. And then inhale. Rise up. This time we're going to stay on this side and we'll just start to lower the back knee. We're going to come into Parivrtta Parshva Konasana, but we're going to start with Anjaneyasana. So make sure your weight is a little forward of your knee and not on your kneecap. You could also be on your little towel or blanket. So we're going to come into Anjaneyasana. Start by getting the left butt under as much best you can and pulling the right butt back. Then we engage the back muscles and we really try to get the back to push forward and the front to open. And then we reach, reach, reach. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Be expressive. Reflection of what's going on. And now we're going to take it across for the twist. So just go at your own speed. Really try to take your arm across. So I'm trying to get these ribs across, the armpit across. And only go as good as feels, whatever feels good in your body. You can take the hands to prayer position. You could stay here, or if you wanted to, tuck the back toes and start to turn, turning the ribs, trying not to turn the hips. You could look straight ahead. You could look down. Breathing. Inhale, rise up. You feel the glutes when you do that. And turn. So now we set up for Parivrtta Trikonasana. So make sure your hips are facing the same direction. We'll reach the right arm up this time. Pull the left hip back. Reach, feel the hamstring stretch first, and then take the hand down. It could be here. And then reach the left arm up. Try not to turn the hips, but turn the ribs, the right ribs to the left as you breathe. Exhale. And then inhale, rise up. And now we're going to come into Parivrtta Parsvakonasana, but first Anjaneyasana. So come to the front of that kneecap. Inhale, right butt is under, left butt pulls back. Now we engage the back. And so we're pushing the back forward and opening the front as we go back. And then we become expressive with the arms. Let it be a reflection. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, rise up. Hopefully that felt great. Now we'll come across for Parivrtta Parsvakonasana. So just take your time. Try and get that armpit around. Really try and scoot it around. Just take your time. It helps to keep your gaze down. Maybe you want to stay here and turn, or maybe you want to tuck the back toes under and start to revolve here, pulling that left butt back. Maybe you take your gaze up. Maybe you keep looking down or straight ahead. And then inhale, rise up. You feel the butt a lot when you do that. And we'll take a step up. Samasatihi. Now we're going to do a couple of opening and expressive Utthita Hasta positions. Well, actually just tree pose, Vrikshasana, and then Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana out to the side. Just getting the blocks out of the way. So we'll start with tree pose. It's always nice to have the wall behind you so you feel safe and supported. So let's let the right leg come up and then turn it out. We'll find ourselves in tree pose, but just keep your gaze down a little bit and just find stillness here for a moment. And then in that stillness, we can find some openness and maybe some reflection as we start to take the toes, reach out, and then maybe you want to express and go back and go back, go back. And then maybe you can let go and come back into your tree pose. Use the wall, it's there. Keeping the gaze down to start. And then let's become expressive here. Reach up, find the joy. Lift, lift, lift. And then slowly bring it back. Other side. So find your gaze a little down, left leg up, bring it in, find stillness for a moment, and find your breath. And now we're going to take the toes, try and keep your gaze at first, reach it out, and maybe you find expression here. Joy, breathe, and slowly coming down, letting go, find your tree pose again, changing the focus, finding stillness. And then maybe you can be expressive here. Lift up, lift up. You can touch the wall. Lift up. And slowly coming down. Bringing everything in together. And then we'll come up to the front. Samasatihi. I'm going to take us now into a standing balance pose that is really nice. It's called Ardha Chandrasana. And it means half moon. And it's a nice open hip posture. So we're going to go ahead and step out and we're going to enter it from an open hip standing posture, Trikonasana. So just follow along. The blocks make it really accessible, but some people don't need them. Inhale, we're going to come into Trikonasana and just feel how the hips are open here. And then from here, you can look down and we're going to take the block so it's under the armpit. And then lift up and start to turn. This leg is hip height or higher, and you turn. Now from here, if this is feeling good and you want to try, you could bend the knee, reach back, maybe grab the foot, and then lift up and pull back. And you're really trying to keep the pelvis forward. You can have the knee high or a little lower, and then reach, be expressive, step back, and you're trying to do it very gracefully. That was a little clunky, but that's okay. And then inhale, rise up. And we'll pivot to the other side. So I love this pose because you can be expressive. Inhale, and hand is under the armpit at first. Feel that nice open Trikonasana. And now look down bend the knee, place the block, lift up. I'm starting to open my hips here, and have your foot at least hip height. It could be higher. And then if you want to, you could bend the knee, reach back, maybe grab your foot, and then pull back, pull back, pull back, and just be expressive. What feels good in your body? Breathe. Maybe you can look up. Release. Now I'm going to be graceful. Chunk. And rise up. And let's take a big step up to the front. Samasati. Now we're going to make our way down to the floor. So I'm just going to use the blocks again because they're here. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And we'll take it back to downward facing dog. And just breathe. Just breathe. Just notice what's going on. Now let's make our way up to the front. And we're going to come down to seated. So you could just put your blocks behind. You could come down and squat. I'm going to work on a little asana here. And come down. And we'll all meet here. Dandasana. So just sit up tall in Dandasana. And if you notice your back is rounded, bend the knees a little. And try to get that connection, that sitting up. Then, this is where sometimes a prop can come in handy. If you have a hard time getting to your feet and keeping your legs straight, you could use the prop and try to straighten, keeping that back engaged. So that's always an option. Or you could just have your hands by your side. Or some of you can grab the feet, roll the shoulders away from your ears, breathe, try to straighten your legs so they're engaged. And then inhale here, exhale. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, release. And now we're going to come into pigeon pose, but I'm going to give a prep pose before pigeon pose, which is a 90-90. So we're going to take the right leg and the left leg into a 90 position, 90 degrees. So try and have your knee aligned with your hip as best you can. You might notice you tilt. We're trying to really get the glutes here. So as you sit up, you might notice a little stretch here, that inner rotation here. That's okay. But we're going to come forward because we really want to stretch this glute. You could also be on top of a block if you were falling way over. So come forward and only go to the place where it's really serving your body. You want to feel this glute. It should be a nice stretch. Now you could go towards the direction of the knee, the shin, or some of you might be able to go a little bit more towards the foot. And you're trying to press that right butt down. You should be feeling the stretch right in that right butt area. Pull the belly in. Just sink lower, deeper, wherever you are. Just notice what's going on. And then we'll rise up. You could stay here, or we're going to come into pigeon pose. So I'm going to move the front leg in. And then this is where I want you to be really careful. Notice no knee pain. If that's the case, then you need to adjust. You need to adjust. So we're going to come up, and I'm trying to get my hips a little bit more squared, facing the same direction. So you might have to adjust a couple times to turn that left hip forward. When you feel like you found it, go ahead and come forward. And you should be feeling a nice stretch in the glutes here. Breathe, inhale and exhale. Some of you might find that you don't need the block. You can really get into the stretch, but use it if you need it. It's helpful. It helps with alignment. And then, especially if your glutes are tight, and then rise up for a moment and just take a moment here, sitting up tall. You could even add your arm if that felt good. You're really engaged and lifted, and we'll release. And now come out, and we'll make our way to the other side. So coming down, I always like this little transition. You can come back to a little bit more 90-90, lift up, and come over. So here we are, 90-90. And then from here, feel this inner rotation of that right leg, and then start to come forward. You could start by going over in the direction of the knee and really pressing that left butt down. If you wanted a little more, or you wanted it a little different, you could go towards the shin a little bit more. Some of you might be able to go towards the foot
But no matter where you are, just push that left butt down. That's where you should be feeling it, in the left glutes. Breathe. And then inhale, rising up. You could stay here longer if you wanted to, or we're going to come into pigeon pose. So I bend the knee a little bit. I make sure the knee is in alignment with the hip. And then I'm going to tuck the back toe under and turn. I'm putting the block under my left butt, and I'm trying to even out the hips a bit. And then just find that spot where you might be getting the stretch on the hip flexors in the back leg. That's good too. And the front butt. So start to come forward and just notice where you're at, breathing. If everything's going good here and you don't want to use the block, you're always free to come off. So just go with what feels best in your body. Breathing, finding release. Inhale, rise up. And this is where you could be expressive if you wanted to. You can lift up. You can see I'm not even using the block, I'm lifting. And down. And then I'm going to take the block out. I'm going to come to that 90-90. And you could use your hands here, but see if you can transition. And here we are. We'll come to Dandasana. And from Dandasana, we're going to make our way into Janu Shirsasana. So bend the right knee. You can really flex the hip, pull the knee back. And then we'll take the foot down. And from here, take a little turn over that left leg. You could use your towel or your belt if you needed it, or hands, or maybe you can grab a wrist, but really try to pull on that right side and open the right hip so you feel side body there. And breathe. Nice inhalation, nice exhalation. Inhale, lengthen, and rise up. We'll go to the other side. Bend the left knee. Let's pull the knee back. Find that hip flexion, really pulling back to the armpit. And then open the knee out to the side. We're going to turn to face that leg. And then you want to either pull the wrist, take the hands, use your prop, but you really want to pull that left side and get that side body really lengthened on that side. Breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lengthen, and rise up. And from here, let's do Ardha Matsyendrasana. So we'll bend the left leg, and we'll cross the right ankle in front of that left knee, and just do your best to sit up. And then from here, we're going to just start to come across. I'm pulling this right knee towards me as I lift up, trying to keep that right butt down and turn. Maybe you want to take your arm on the other side, but keep that lift. Keep the spine lengthening as you turn the left ribs to the right. Be expressive. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale, come back. And we'll go to the other side. So bend the right knee, cross the left ankle. Feel that line of energy from that sitting bone to the right heel as you lift up. And we're turning the ribs. Inhale, let this be a reflection of your inner light as you inhale, lift up. Exhale, feel the turn. Should feel really nice. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale, come back to the center. We'll come to Dandasana. And then we're going to cross. See if you can do this. We're going to come to the knees. No worries if you used your hands. I'm just always playing around with things like that. Okay, we're going to come to Ustrasana. So you're welcome to use the blocks here, or you could tuck your toes under for a little height. So in Ustrasana, just want you to feel your legs work first. So push the shins down, keep the tail under, the front of the hips really open. Feel the back work here. You feel the back is engaged and the front is opening. The back is pushing forward. The front is going back, and lift up to go back. And just stay here and breathe and notice what's going on in your body. Be expressive. Just really breathe. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. And then inhale, rising up. And then let's go ahead and come back down to seated. So I'm just going to take the legs to the side
and come around. And now I want to come into Upavishta Konasana. So the legs are going out to the sides. So we're going to really open the inner thighs. And you don't have to go real wide here. Just wide enough that feels okay in your body. And if your body is really tight in your back like this, just bend the knees and try to sit up. That'll be a good stretch. You can even do that a few times. But if you're able to sit up and you want to begin the forward journey, feel for a moment the inner thighs, these deep inner thighs, they're rolling in. And at the same time that the inner thighs are rolling in, you're trying to take your butt back. So the inner thighs roll in and you try to take your butt back. Inner thighs in, take your butt back. Keep breathing. Inner thighs in, butt back. Inner thighs in, butt back. Just breathe. Even if you're here, you'll still be benefiting a lot. Or even if you're here. And then let's slowly release for a moment. We're going to do something fun. The pose that I like to call suntan pose. You just bend the knees, and I want you to just enjoy this. Inhale here. Exhale. Breathe. Breathe. Lift the sternum. Breathe. And maybe you can come together. Keep that spine lengthening. Breathe. Breathe. Maybe you want to try letting go. Navasana. Ah, and then release. And now we'll make our way down to the floor. So if you wanted to, if you had the blocks, let's go ahead and lie over them. It feels really nice. So take a breath in and exhale, start to curl. And I'm putting one block right at the bottom edge of my shoulder blades. So it's the opposite side of my sternum. And then the other one supports my head. So it's a supported back bend. Bend the knees. Just reach the arms. And breathe. Inhale. You can elevate the shoulders, try to roll them open. And just breathe here. Maybe send the butt back. And then we'll go ahead and straighten the legs. Take a breath in, reaching up, start to curl. And I'm going to take the blocks out, but I'll probably keep one close by. And we'll go ahead and curl back. Feel that curling. You pull the belly in. You're articulating the spine down. And then from here, we'll come into a bridge. So just take a moment, take a breath in, exhale, lift up, use the butt. Feel the front open. Maybe you want to interlace your hands and get a little on your shoulders, but make sure your neck is lengthening. Lift way up. If you can't interlace your hands, you could hold on to the mat. Those are all options. Let's engage the glutes. Reach the right leg up. Just feel that. And then we'll do the other side. Reach the left leg up. Bring it down. Slowly come down. You could stay on your hands for a moment. Just feel the opening. The sternum, lift back up. This time, let's lift the heels, reach the arms, and slowly curl down. Pull the belly in. Curl all the way down. Let the hands come down. And we'll end as usual with a supported inversion. Always nice to reverse the blood flow. Get the legs up. So you could use your block, then elevate your legs. You could also use a wall or just have your legs up. Engage the front of the legs so that there's maybe a stretch in the hamstrings. Try not to be this way or this way, just nice and even. Those of you who have it in your practice to go to shoulder stand, you could do that. You could go over and taking your time though, I'm just kind of quickly going through it. Or you just stay in the supported inversion, but you might go here. You might play with some variations. But I'm just going to go ahead and take us out. So you can bend the knees here maybe. I like Karnapidasana. You're always welcome to pause the video, especially at the closing of class. We all meet here. And then we're going to bend the knees. Lift up. Let's shift the hips to the left. Let the knees come up and we'll take them over to the right. One final twist, and then open that left shoulder. Maybe gazing over the left shoulder as you breathe. Inhale, exhale. Let this reflection just be of ease and peace. And then we'll go the other way, just releasing. Shift the hips to the right, let the knees come up and over. Roll that right shoulder open, breathing. And then bringing everything back. Let's hug the knees in, maybe curl up into a little ball, and then release. And let your inner light reflect out as you come to Shavasana and just be. And you can stay here as long as you'd like and pause the video. But I'm going to go ahead and take us out. So just become aware of your breath as you start to move the fingers and the toes. And as you're ready, bending the knees, making your way to a fetal position, and pause. And then very slowly making your way up to seated. And as usual, I always love to finish class coming back to the same place we started and just notice, where are you now in your body and your mind? What is your mirror reflecting? And can you take this and let it resonate in everything you do? Namaste.